If you have ever increased expectations for your teenager with FND or functional neurological disorder, such as going back to school, adding a little bit more activity, or trying something new, and then watched their symptoms get worse, and then thought to yourself, did I just make things worse? Should I just pull back? Is this even working? I don't know what I'm doing. This video is for you, because that scary moment where things seem to be going backwards right when you were trying to move forward is one of the most misunderstood parts of FND recovery. And today I want to explain exactly what's happening and what your job is when it does as a parent. Hi. If you're new here, my name is Dr. Lee. I'm a pediatric health psychologist and the founder of Teen FND Academy, an online coaching program to help teens with FND and their parents get their lives back. Before I get into it, I want to ask you about something because I want to know if this sounds familiar. So you have been following a plan. Things were slowly improving and you took a small step forward. Maybe your teen went back to school part-time or tried an activity they used to love. And then, bam, symptoms flared. And suddenly, you are second guessing everything as a parent. If that lands for you, keep watching because what I'm about to share is going to reframe that experience completely. So there's a roller coaster versus the yo-yo. First, let me say this clearly. Yes, symptoms of FND can get worse when you increase expectations. That happens almost always. But here is what does not mean. It does not mean you did something wrong. It does not mean the plan is not working. And absolutely, it does not mean that you need to pull everything back. Recovery from FND is never ever a straight line. It looks more like a roller coaster. It goes up, it goes down, there's a twisty and then backwards and things like that. But just like a roller coaster, it moves forward eventually. And I want you to hold that image because there is an important difference between a roller coaster and a yo-yo. Yo-yo also goes up and down, right? But it actually stays in the same place. So in FND recovery, we expect ups and downs. Your teenager is literally retraining their brain and body connection again. So that process is not going to be smooth. It is not linear, and the ups and downs are not a sign that something is wrong. What matters is direction. Are you actually moving forward overall? That is the question. Now, if you're not doing anything to get better or recover from FND and having these ups and downs, then most likely that is a yo-yo. But if you're actually having a plan and implementing the plan and having the ups and downs, that's more likely to be going in that direction like a roller coaster. Now, what is an extinction burst? Let me explain something that I think one of the most important concepts in this entire recovery process. For me as a clinician, it's pretty much like psychology 101, but for most of you, it doesn't really make sense. So let me explain. When you increase expectations, like going back to school, adding activities, right, and trying something new, or whatever that is, symptoms can flare. And there is a name for it. It is actually called an extinction burst. Yes, it's a legit name. That simply means when the brain starts learning a new pattern, the old pattern of yours pushes back, like putting out the fight. So it is like the brain basically saying, like, are you sure we're changing this? Like, are you really sure? Symptoms may get louder for a short time when that conversation is sort of happening. Not because things are worse, but because the old loop is being challenged and the brain is testing whether you are serious about the new direction. The Family Guy shares a handful of practical strategies to help you get out of this survival mode. And it shows why our structured approach gets such a strong result. Grab it from the description below. It is free. Now, this is normal. This is expected. Scientifically, it's proven. And this is actually a sign that something is going in the right direction. This is why pacing matters. So this is not about go, 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 go until you crash and burn. Baby steps matter. You're not eliminating the fear or eliminating the bar, but you are just lowering the fear so that your teen can move forward. And there is a difference between those two things. So let's talk about this. Lowering the bar versus lowering the fear. Lowering the bar means removing expectations. Lowering the fear means keeping expectations steady, but increasing the structure and support around them. So one tells your teenager's brain, oh, this is too hard, let's stop. You can't do this, there is no way. The other tells your teenager's brain, yeah, this is uncomfortable and we are doing it anyway, slowly, together. Now that distinction matters enormously for how our brain learns safety, including your teenage child. Let's talk about how to measure real progress, because here is the most important reframe. I want you to take this from video as a parent. Progress in FND recovery is not 100% measured by symptom elimination at all. Progress is measured by daily function. So ask yourself these questions. Is your teen participating more than they were before? Are they returning to life faster after a flare than they used to? Are they using their skills with less prompting? If the answer to any of those is yes, then yes, that's the progress. Even if symptoms are still showing up, it just sounds so weird, but that is the case. And even if it does not feel like progress yet. So this is where I always encourage parents and teens to collect 1,000 golden BBs instead of looking for this one silver bullet trick, right? The symptoms may still be there, but what your teenager is doing in spite of those symptoms, that is what recovery actually looks like. So let's talk about your job when symptoms flare. When symptoms get louder during recovery, and they will, here is what your job is as a parent. Steady leadership. No panicking, not pulling everything back, not saying this is not working. You stay calm, you stay consistent, and you remind your teenager, yes, this is uncomfortable and we are moving forward. That is the role of a steady leader, regulated parent's job. That steadiness does something really specific for that brain. It actually teaches safety. It says, yes, that discomfort is not crisis. We do not have to stop. We do not have to go back, and safety is what drives long-term change in FND recovery, not the absence of symptoms, safety. If you want to see how my full program of Teen FND Academy works and how it's helping families resolve FND for real, then watch the video linked in the description box below. So the next time symptoms flare when you increase expectations, and I want you to come back to this video, you are not on a yo-yo. You are on a roller coaster that is moving forward. That old pattern is pushing back because the new one is taking hold. Stay steady, keep the direction, lower the fear, not the bar, and measure progress by what your teenager is doing and able to do, not by whether symptoms have disappeared. If this video helped you make sense of something you have been carrying for a long time, share it with another parent or another family member who needs to hear this. And if you're ready to take the next step for you and your family towards recovery, the link to Teen FND Academy is down below in the description box. I'll see you in the next video.